This meeting will come to order. Madam Recorder, if you would take the roll.
Alderwoman Payne. Alderman Malone.
Here.
Alderwoman Key.
Here.
Vice Mayor Adams.
Here.
Alderman Johnson.
Here.
And Alderwoman Payne asked me to convey her apologies for not being here tonight. She has a bug, and so she wanted me to let everyone know she's apologetic. So if we could go ahead and stand for the prayer. Alderwoman Keith, if you wouldn't mind. And then pledge. Chief Depew. Thank you.
In the name of Jesus, dear Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, in the only way that we know how, asking you to please forgive us for all of our sins. Lord, we thank you, God, for your grace and your mercy. God, we thank you for how you look beyond our many, many faults and you see our needs. Father God, I ask, Lord, that you look down on each and every one of us. Lord, you know all about us. Lord, you know what we all stand in need of. Lord, I ask that thou will continue to bless us and bless the balance of our families. And Lord, as we go through this meeting, God, I ask that you will guide us, direct us in the path that you would have us to go. And Lord, everything that we do, every decision that we make, God, Lord, I ask, God, that it will be pleasing unto you. And I will be so careful to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. In Jesus' holy name we pray. And everybody said amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I want to thank everyone for being here. We're going to start off tonight with our project briefing from Austin Smith, Mattern and Craig.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Couple quick things on the current ongoing ARPA projects. ARPA project now. The water treatment plant. So we did receive some comments on those. Those have since been revised and sent back into TDEC, and currently awaiting their final review. As far as the asset management grants go, I guess First had notified us. I don't have a date. I guess it was last week. Has the town received the new contracts from the state?
We've gotten the updated contracts, and they've been signed, and they've been sent back.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, good deal. And I guess we also received a notification from that the TDEC SWIG team has requested a 1-year extension on all that asset management work. So the new deadlines, which they're confident in, nothing's official, approval is informal right now, but the new deadlines will move to October 31st of 26 to get the work and deliverables complete and submitted, and then December of 31st of 26 will be the closeout for those. So can take a breath on that one a little bit, and it's a lot easier to hit that goal than October of this year. A couple things that have came up, from last month's meeting and up until now. We did receive the signed task order for the sewer investigation over here. I've been coordinating, trying to get camera crews scheduled, and then we will get together and schedule the drawdown testing for the pump station. And Randy Beckner and I will be out here to perform that. There was Miss Payne brought up the Lakeview Drive water last month, and I guess I met with Alan on site last Friday to discuss. My previous notes had in there that there was a 6-inch water line installed down Lakeview that predated Mattern and Craig. In 2015, we did a water and sewer improvements project that tied over the existing surfaces from the 2-inch to the 6-inch. And I guess I wasn't completely sure as to what Alderwoman Payne's concerns were, but that job did stop at the end of Lakeview. The 2-inch water line that was proposed to be abandoned once work was being conducted in the field. Come to find out that first resident on the right, as you turn onto Lakeview Drive, their service actually comes off of that 2-inch, so it couldn't be abandoned. If her concern was the town had paid for work that wasn't completed, that was a unit price job, so the contractor only got paid for what was installed. And then we talked earlier, and I've coordinated with town manager about the stormwater issue out on McClellan, and I can elaborate if you want me to, but we're working on ways to fix that problem. And other than that, that's all I've got. Y'all have any questions for me?
I think, or part of that Lakeview, there's a place there as you start down through there that's gravel, and it needs to be paved over, and it wasn't for some reason, and they were saying that there was just 3 houses, which that first house, and there's part of the whole thing is 3 of them are together. You know, there's a garage house and another house at one time, and that was a thing that they wanted to pave it. But I mean, when talking to Alan, it's been a while back, that you know those houses had to be hooked, and I don't know if it's to the 6-inch line or if it's going to stay the 2 or whatever. But until you know they lifted the ditch there, I guess you'd say, until that work was done, and then when it was finished, it needed to be paved over, or you know patched or whatever, you know, to make it. So that's kind of where it was at. So I mean, if it's going to stay on the 2-inch line, and that's going to be it, you know, then it needs to go ahead and be paved over, I guess.
Are there plans to, I'm sorry, you were
Oh, no, go ahead.
Are there plans to finish that job?
So the original conversation with Alan was replacing that. It's a galvanized line that goes under there and replacing it with PEX. Mm-hmm. But looking further back into the plans, it appears that there was a project beforehand that came all the way down to Lakeview Drive and stopped. And there was another project that came down past the post office, a couple of houses, and stopped. So there's a section between Lakeview and out here where the line comes down and then it goes across over to Lakeview Drive. So I think we're probably going to end up having to look at getting those 2 projects that were completed connected in the middle. So as far as like getting Lakeview paved, we could replace that line with PEX and get that done. But then I think there's going to be a follow-on that's going to happen, and we'll need to talk about that to get the rest of that project done so that everybody's on new water line system.
Yeah, and you know, just Alan had mentioned some of the difficulties in replacing that line, but yeah, that is where that 2015 job stopped. Was well, where that galvanized line is at was the, I guess, the only cross that wasn't replaced in that one, and then like I said, that 2-inch was planned to be removed. But there was service down below the road that was tied to it, so it could be done. But, anyways.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. We were going to do discussion and action, approval of Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting minutes. I put that in there in case there were any, and we will postpone those to the next meeting. So we'll go ahead and open the first section of public comments. 3 minutes, name and address. Anyone would like to come up and speak?
I'm Gary. We was just wondering what's going on up there, if you can tell us.
I'll have to refer to Mr.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was trying to...
Up on Hillcrest there?
Hillcrest.
Yeah.
The situation with Hillcrest.
So if you would like to talk about that, we can go ahead and schedule something to fill you in. I'm not certain of everything that's going on, but we could get the information and then give it to you. If that's adequate.
Yeah, okay. Still got the toilet paper and the smell and all that mess going on. And then there was I told Carol, looked like some bad guys coming up through there. You know, whole carload of them. So something might happen. I don't know. Just they might be looking. You know, maybe them people owe money. Something like that, I think, going on.
Well,
And then a lot down there at the squatters. A lot of stuff going on there. And Cindy, she walks in the evening, and she got walking up through there, and they're out there working on the van in the middle of the road. So she asked me if I'd ride her back to her house, and I did. And when I went squeezed through there, this big old fella, he just going like this to me, yelling at me. So I backed up, said, I don't like to be yelled at. And you could tell he was out there on meth or something. So I want you to know that. But
I appreciate it, I'm not sure, so we'll get with you.
yeah, I don't like people yelling at me. So all right, we'll talk later somewhere.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to speak? All right, then we'll go ahead and move on to the discussion and action, finalizing the town manager job description.
Move that microphone so I can hear you back here. Thank you
Is
very much.
that better?
That's better. Thank you.
Discussion and action, finalizing the town manager job description and forwarding it to the MTAS for posting. We had a workshop and we discussed some of the changes that the board members wanted to make. There were about 4 that the board agreed on, and I had taken those to Pete Auger just to get some clarification on those changes. You all saw my explanation that removing the code enforcement and the floodplain administrator, those have to be done. They're primarily done by the town manager. They would have to be assigned to somebody else. And I believe everyone agreed that it would be okay to leave those in since code enforcement official is not a building inspector. If we had a building inspector, they could do those jobs, but it is standard under the position of town manager. The other change was regarding department head evaluations and the time of them. That is actually covered under the second section under essential job functions. It would fall under that, and that's just a standard also of monitoring and making sure the day-to-day is done in all the departments if things are functioning well. It's usually annual. It can be less than that, but it's something that's usually not spelled out in a job description because it's implied that the town manager is overseeing department heads. There was one other item that wasn't agreed upon, and I don't want to speak for Alderwoman Payne, but she wanted added in there that there would be either a semi-annual or an annual evaluation of the town manager done by the board of the board of mayor and aldermen. That doesn't fall under the job description. So she had expressed that the board members were unhappy that none of the changes were made, so we can go forward with the changes. But the explanation that Pete Auger gave that I sent to you all, I think it was valid, and we can just button it up here if we want to have those items included, because at the end of the day, it is the board who decides what's in the job description. This was just guidance from Mr. Auger. So if you'd like to have any discussion on that, we certainly can.
Well, if you don't mind, Mayor, if I may say something.
Certainly.
You stated something about town manager overseeing the department heads, right? It's included in it, right?
Yes. So under essential functions of the job, the second line is maintains the order of the department heads, what's going on in the town, making sure that all of the department heads and the work that that's being done is being done.
Okay, so if there's something not being done or being done in a timely manner, the town manager has to present that to the board to let the board know. So the ones that work at the pleasure of the board is what I'm saying.
Yes, so I believe it would at first be the town manager would, and I'm going to let you speak to this because you understand those functions. The town manager would address the department head.
Because we have not ever had an update or anything.
Right.
Right. So typically, I mean, your general performance it's handled internally. So if you normally have those day-to-day conversations kind of thing, but as a manager, if you do see that something isn't getting done or it's not getting done well, you would have that one-on-one conversation with the employee first and give them an opportunity to
Just get it right.
But then if you do have continuation of that employee not being able to meet whatever the minimum standard or expectation is of their job description, then at that point, yes, it would be brought forward to the board and it would be reported that in these instances, this is what's happened, this is what we've tried to do to rectify the situation. It hasn't been rectified. And then
okay, it's just something that just don't continue on and on.
No.
Okay, because I want everybody to be held accountable.
Yes, and then your performance appraisals, you typically have a semi-annual appraisal where the manager sits down with the employee and just gives like a general overview. You're performing as expected, things like that. But then you have an annual performance where you actually go through specific aspects of their job description, and you rate them based on how well they are completing those.
Is that documented?
Yes.
Any other questions? If there aren't any other questions, I'd like to go ahead and see if anyone would make a motion to go ahead and finalize this. And actually, we have to stop. So we have not discussed salary either. So we can finalize the job description, but we are going to have to discuss salary. So it should have been done at the workshop.
Yeah.
Okay. You're wanting to wait to see budget figures.
No, I'd like to go ahead and finalize the job description, but
Okay.
I don't know if we can speak to a salary until we see at least a draft of the budget.
Okay, absolutely. So if someone wants to make a motion
We could say in it that it's negotiable depending on experience. And then, let him post it or ask Pete about it, but he could post it, and then when you got somebody that's super qualified, we'll find out what they want and what you want to give or stuff. Then we'll, like you say, have to do the budget, but we could proceed on and, or you could, instead of coming down to a figure, because we really don't know what that's going to be. We may not know till July, of well, it looks like, but hopefully it'll be sooner. But
well, normally in these postings, there's a salary range.
Yeah.
And of course, it would depend upon experience, which end of the range that you're on. So from that standpoint, I would suggest you nail down salary before you've done the posting. Because your posting is probably not going to be worthwhile if you don't have that in there.
Did you want to say something, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, we could put that the salary range is commensurate on experience, but I don't think anybody's going to apply if they don't have an idea of what the pay is going to be. So, as far as posting it, we really have to kind of figure that out before we post it. Now, as far as the description, I'm fine with the description. As far as what was sent out to us, like I read over it, seems great to me.
All right.
I think we do have to figure out what the salary range is going to be before we post it.
All right, so if someone wants to make a motion, we'll go ahead and finalize the job description itself.
Motion to approve the town manager job description.
Motion to approve the town manager job description by Vice Mayor Adams.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Keith. Could we take a vote, Madam Recorder?
Alderman Lund,
Yes.
Alderwoman Keith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Adams,
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
All right, job description passes as it is written. So we're going to move on to the next discussion and action item, consideration of Sullivan County assuming the responsibility of the building inspector. Several of you had mentioned that you wanted to have more information on this. Currently, we do not have a building inspector. We do not have a building inspector. There is a salary in the budget. The previous budget, it was a minor amount. It wouldn't be anything that we would be able to hire a full-time person. Just want to put out there that Mayor Venable and Amber Torbett have suggested that they could take over, Sullivan County could take it over. There were a lot of questions as to how this would actually pan out. But perhaps maybe at least for a year or two until we can get someone in, it may be an option to work with Sullivan County. And if you all are interested, and I don't know why I have discussion and action, but it's worth a discussion. The questions that were asked were, would the city or county process the building application? Would the city or county collect the fee? And if the city, how would the county be compensated for their time? Would the city attorney defend the county inspector's code enforcement should a property owner not come into compliance? Which fee schedule would apply, city or county? Average building permit applications per year. And then what edition of the IRC and property maintenance code is adopted by the city? And I believe that's 2023-001 when we adopted the code. So that's already answered. But I did speak with the folks over in Building and Codes, and they wanted this to be presented for the board's consideration. So just want to put that out there. That is an option, and actually explained to Mayor Venable that I would do this. So that's what we've been offered. So
The
yes,
way
sir.
the mechanics would work from an approval standpoint is we'd have to negotiate an interlocal agreement with the county, and the Board of County Commissioners would have to approve it, and then the Board of Mayor and Alderman would have to approve it as well.
Thank you. Yes. And we currently have something like that. That's something that's done.
Yes.
Agreements. Okay. So just for your consideration, something to think about. Moving forward, no action, just discussion and thought. Okay. We're going to move on to the report from our town manager.
All right, good evening, members of the board. We had a pretty good month in April. We were pretty active. So just some highlights here, some things that happened. We had a workshop on April 9th, and appreciate everybody that was able to come to that because I wasn't able to be there. So thank you so much for that. We received a quote for asphalt repairs for both the ball field parking lot for $6,900 and an extra for $1,700 for some other items that they pointed out that we could do but didn't have to do. And then the town hall parking lot out here from where the work was done last year, got the quote for $10,600. So I'm going to go out and get some other competing quotes and see if we can do any better than that. As we heard earlier, the TDEC AMP grants were reviewed, signed, and submitted back to TDEC. We also did a review of the McClellan Street rehab plans from July 2017 regarding the culvert and riprap at the end of McClellan Street. So that is still ongoing, and we will continue to work on a solution there. Public Works does have an inoperable pump at the Bridge Pump Station. The pump has reached obsolescence, so we've requested 2 quotes. One would be to replace the pump at a cost of $7,500. We're currently waiting for the repair quote. The issue that they're having is finding parts for repairing this pump. So it's taking a little bit longer than we had hoped to get that number, but we're as soon as we get that number, I will bring that to the board's attention. We completed a technology survey with TUC Technologies and reviewed the results. So what that means is they came in and they looked at our servers, they looked at our network, they looked at our firewall and our security, they looked at all of our setup and ran some tests. So the reason that we did this was related to, if you recall, when we did when we had the audit review from our auditor, one of the action items that we have is being able to get to the point where we can have cybersecurity insurance. And so there's a whole list of things that we have to complete before that can happen. And after talking with this company, they're able to come in and get us into compliance there. Kind of set an internal goal of end of calendar year, since we redo our insurance at the beginning of the calendar year. So if we can get all of this completed on time, which I think we will, and I think we will exceed that, then we can go ahead and get that cybersecurity insurance in for next year, if not sooner. The other thing that helps us do is we can start looking at taking online payments. We really have to have the security measures in place before we start using credit cards and doing online payments. So a lot coming out of that, and I have a follow-up with them in the next week or so. They're going to actually come in and do a full review of all of our computers and give us an outlook of what's good, what could be replaced in the next couple of years, and what's kind of hit a point where we need to look at replacing laptops and computers and things like that. So I'll have more information on that at the next meeting. Public Works filled some holes outside of Bluff City Elementary School on Parks Worley Street. And I just wanted to note here on that, Parks Worley is pretty bad. We've been talking with different entities like First Tennessee Development. I know we've talked with Matter and Craig. We've even brought it up with the MPO to try to find funds to be able to do some work on that road and hopefully get it fixed. The mayor and I met with the Johnson City MTPO on May 15th. We kind of discussed their operations and the things that they do and some of the projects and plans that they have coming up over the next few years. And then we also had a nice sit down and talked about some of our initiatives and things that we wanted to accomplish here in Bluff City. They were really receptive with that, and they're actually currently looking at some ways to help us with a couple of those things that we brought up.
Our meeting,
Go ahead.
our meeting was supposed to go for about half an hour. We were there for 2.5 hours. We finally said, "Oh, we have to go. You've closed." So it was just so productive.
It was a very good meeting. We did receive a preliminary plat for review that will need to go through the Planning and Zoning Committee. I just wanted to note here, to make a recommendation to look at establishing those committee members so we can go ahead and start getting that plat reviewed and get those things in motion. I've received a couple of complaints related to speeding in the vicinity of Shawnee Drive and Kentucky Avenue. We've been having internal conversations on that. We're reviewing it and trying to consider what options we have to help alleviate that situation. We did receive a TDEC notice of violation on 4/16/2025 on the Igloo pump station. There was an overflow. That is the bad news. But the good news is, with the approval that we got to do the CCTV scoping from the last meeting, we have 30 days to go into an action plan with them. That work is going to be our action plan, and the great part about the results from that is going to help us not just band-aid that problem that has been going on for a very long time, but looking at what the actual root cause is that's happening over here to cause these overflows so we can actually get it fixed. We also had a meeting with TDEC, the mayor did, and that was very successful. They're very supportive of helping us with this and helping us find ways that we can get support for whatever the outcome is of that testing. They're supportive of helping us find ways to take care of the cost of that. And they also recommended that we reach out to the EPA. So EPA has a free program where they will come in and they will do an assessment as well, and then they will help you find grant money if it leads to needing to do a repair. So I've already initiated that action, waiting to hear back from them. So I think we've got a lot of eyes on that, and very excited that we are going to get that fixed, hopefully very soon. We have scheduled an introduction session into a computerized work order system for May 12th. So right now everything's done on paper, so we're going to take a look at what that looks like and hopefully get everybody transferred over into a computerized system. There is actually a very small part of this, I'm not sure what the details are, but on the AMP grants, along with the GIS mapping, there's also a portion on there that says work order system. So we'll have something resolved there as well. On April 21st, we very graciously received a mechanics truck from Sullivan County at no cost to BLUFF City for Public Works. It's not perfect condition. It has a couple small problems, but nothing we shouldn't be able to handle. But Public Works does have a number of vehicles that are in various stages of disrepair. So this is going to be a huge help for them till we can work through what we need to focus on as far as any vehicle replacements or repairs and things like that. So huge thanks to Sullivan County and the Highway Department for gifting us that truck. Recently, we reviewed results from a smoke test that was completed on the sewer infrastructure in 2016. There were roughly 191, I believe, items found that were in some sort of, needed some sort of correction. It's unclear at the time how many of those have been corrected, so we plan to revisit those issues, try to figure out which ones have been corrected, which ones haven't, and then do any follow-on actions that are related to that. Attended the Sullivan County Commissioners meeting April 17th. One of the big takeaways I could take from that was they did have a lot of conversation about the property assessments, and they had the property assessor there. If you know anybody who would like to meet with the property assessor's office to talk about their assessments and try to negotiate a lower rate, call the property assessor. They are doing appointments through May 20th.
To when?
May 20th. May 20th. So definitely give them a call, and they will set up a meeting with you. And I wanted to mention here that we formalized the request for the 3 police vehicles, which was presented at the special call meeting last week. Thank you all for again, I couldn't be at this meeting, but for listening about that and understanding. Just like I mentioned about Public Works, we have a similar situation with the police department. Their vehicles are in different states of disrepair, and we need to come up with a way to systematically, over a 5-year period, change out cars and keep them current. In fact, I signed a PO for a repair today on a vehicle that has over 136,000 miles. Industry standard is to replace a police vehicle between 80 and 100,000. So just a little bit of food for thought there. But again, thank you all for having that meeting and having that discussion.
Cameras and tasers.
I'm sorry?
Cameras and tasers is also along with that police cruiser.
Yes.
Jean-Ann, could you, the gentleman who was there talking to me today, I didn't get his name.
Gary Sharp.
The gentleman, I had another gentleman came today to talk about the county assessor. And thank you. I want to let him know May 20th. Thank you. All right. That's everything. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we're going to have our financial report from our CMFO.
Fund balances as of March 31st, 2025. General fund, $2,573,875. Sanitation fund, $29,239. Police fund, $7,196. Debt service, $112,382. Sinking fund, $3,094. Water sewer, $580,864. Total fund balance is $3,003,650.
All right. Motion to approve that, or discussion? Any questions?
Motion to approve financial report.
Motion to approve the financial report by Vice Mayor Adams.
I second.
Second by Alderman Johnson. Could we take a vote, please, Madam Recorder?
Alderman Malone,
Yes.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Adams.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, the financial report is approved. Moving on, let's have our report from the town attorney, Mr. Fry.
Mayor, you've not paid your 24 taxes. They're now delinquent. And we'll start working on collecting those delinquencies very shortly. And each year, our taxpayers get better at paying their taxes on time. So,
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. All right, now we'll go into our department reports. Police and Public Safety, Chief Depew.
Good evening, Mayor, board members, and citizens.
Good evening.
For the month of April, we had a total of 271 calls for service. We patrolled 9,233 miles, 39 offense reports. We had 36 MSD reports. We issued 370 citations, had 117 warnings, 30 arrests, 2 DUIs, 8 drug violations, 2 domestic assaults, 4 crashes, 6 alarm calls, 1 funeral escort, and 1 use of force report. With these stats, I will add we were down 1 officer of the month. We have 1 in the academy, which I got a report from today, is doing extremely well. He's in his 4th week, and it starts getting a little easier for him from here on out. So once they get that back here, they should be good unless something crazy happens. So he's doing extremely well. Looking forward to getting him back. But these stats are with him not being here, and he's very productive, so they would have been even better. So everything's going well. Proud of everybody. Any concerns or issues or anything, questions you guys have for me?
Great job.
Yeah, thank you so much. Board members, thank all of you. Thanks.
Great job. Great job, gentlemen. All righty. Moving on to Public Works. Mr. Moultrie couldn't be here. Madam Town Manager, if you would like to brief us on his report, please.
Absolutely. Thank you. The water plant is operating normally and pumping an average of 235,000 gallons per day. Our water tank level was an average of 45.07 feet, a maximum of 54.43 feet, while our lowest level was 27.54 feet. The water plant was down for maintenance and backwashes for a total of 2.54 days due to high turbidity. In the distribution system, we are continuing to find and repair leaks throughout our distribution system. We did not have any water line repairs or taps installed this month. Periodically, you will see city employees inspecting meters and service lines to complete our lead service line inventory. For a sewer department, the sewer department is operating well, with there being 1 overflow recorded in the month of April. This event was a wet weather event where we had an overflow at the manhole at 4418 Bluff City Highway. The affected area was cleaned up, raked, and lime was placed in the affected area. The manhole does need to be replaced at this location, and we are currently in the process of planning rehab for this section of line. In the streets department, city workers are working hard to maintain the brush pickup and have started mowing throughout town. Please note the designated day for brush pickups is on Wednesday and Thursday, and of course work orders will take the top priority. Also would like to ask that the brush be placed in the right-of-way area to assure no damage to personal property while picking up trash. If you have any questions, concerns, you can contact City Hall, myself, or Mr. Moultrie with Public Works. Any questions for me?
Can we start seeing a percentage of lost on water in these reports?
Any other questions? All right. We will move on to Finance and Administration, our CMFO.
Well, the girls are working hard to get all the works done lately, and they're doing a great job, really great job.
Thank you. I thought there was a pause there for more, but that's enough. So that's a lot. All right, and we do not have any of our county commissioners here tonight, so we will move on to the Board of Mayor and Alderman comments. Vice Mayor Adams.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Believe all of our departments are working well, doing a fantastic job. We appreciate everybody's efforts and look forward to having a good summer.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Alderwoman.
Thank everyone for coming out. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you very much. Alderman Malone.
Well, the same as everybody else, thank you all for coming. I guess I'm kind of conservative and kind of like to know what's going on and don't go on, and tried not to interfere with anybody or anything, but overall, I'm just really concerned. Here we are, and we don't have a budget, and nobody wants to do anything because we don't know if we got the money or not. And I've asked and stuff, and to see if we can't get some kind of report or at least something we can kind of be putting our thing, because we got 5 people here with different eyes can look on something, and maybe we see something that can pass it on, because Michelle hasn't looked at it before and been here and been through it for the last 10, 20 years and per se, and when Jeff got this rough draft, I went through and asked him to separate things that I seen as far as working on the budget, and I went and asked Sharon to explain it to me, and she did, and some of the stuff we found, it was just in the wrong place or wrote down wrong or wrong information here and there, which is no big deal, but at least it made it a lot smoother and stuff. And so we went to push it to say, okay, we're going to have a budget thing. We need something in here to really look at it and see. Because Jeff, I know, and when you make budgets, you always put a little bit of extra gravy on it, because you never know what's going to happen, because you're guessing a year later. And I know Sharon said at the water and sewer department, or water department, supplies is high last year, and it's even higher this year. And so we got thinking, and I know in the past, I'm talking to Alan and stuff, we probably need 250 water meters. We're talking about $75,000 in that department. Their vehicles is pathetic. I know the truck that we got is a ton, and so that's not going to be it's going to probably be good for heavy stuff or pulling stuff, but it's not going to be an everyday driver. And I seen one of the guys the other day, and I said, "Your vehicle okay and everything?" He said, "Well, the gas tank is strapped on with wire." And I said, "That ain't going to work." So, they're not a good deal. And I know they did take a heavier stuff and strapping, I guess, gas tank strapping, and done that. But in the meantime, that they said it had a cross member that was just about rusted in two. And so when you put it on the road and stuff, it may last for a while, but it may thing. So that vehicle is, really needs to be replaced soon. And other equipment and stuff. And of course, I know Michelle's been working with it since she's been here on trying to get what they need in the budget and so forth. And this one item here is on the Public Works on this pump station, and I think it's been going on for a while, and maybe that pumps out. We got 2, but one goes out, the other one kicks in, and so forth. So I think, just looking here and not talking to Public Works, but another person made a point, said that it was, I don't know if he told me it's like a Sweden or a Denmark, or he said it was a real, when it was bought, it was probably bought because the cheapest they could get to put it in there, whoever's done the quote. But, and he said, he told them, back years ago when he put the pump in, when it tears up, you'll never find parts. So if that's the case, and it's going, we keep, try and get parts from somewhere, then we need to go ahead and buy a pump and get that pump station up to 100%. I mean, it's my opinion. I mean, and I know you're checking on the price. I'm glad you brought it up. So, I mean, it was, something's on there, but, and it just came from, and a lot of stuff, it's funny, it comes from the outside sources. We don't know sometimes, even the people here don't, Michelle or even the mayor don't know and stuff, and people can see stuff and bring it up. So we need probably a little better communication between us and stuff. If we see something that was wrong, or, I called Greg the other day, there was a truck blocking the street, and he went up and talked to the guy real nice, and the guy moved his truck, no problem. But, and that's what we need to do, all working together and, on these projects and stuff. And the gate, I don't think it's still fixed, and that's just almost uncalled. Not the people, I guess, you're going to get mad and jump up and down. I know we did pay them part of the thing and to find out, but, they took 3 months to put it up, and then now it's been going on 3 months to fix it. And, so, trying to, find out stuff like that, to do. And there's only so many hours and so many things you can do, but, one of the things we're going to have to try to address was the people in town has got a complaint. We need to make it priority to try to resolve it if possible. And if we can't, we at least need to have communications and let them know, hey, we're working on this. We're working on it. We're working on this, when they start calling county commissioner or mayor or whoever to try to take care of a problem that we got in town, that's not good. And sometimes we don't know it's a problem. They'll go ahead and call, or it'll get passed down by who knows who. But I am, I know the town's going to do good, and we're going to get through all this, and we got a lot to do, and we've done a lot so far, and we want the police department, public works, water and sewer, and everything, and stuff. And then we got through this tax deal, so hopefully the state will, when they set the rate and stuff, it'll be reasonable. They're going to look out for everybody, I think, or their part. But and insurance said, revenue looks like it's coming in good. And of course, Paul's going to get the rest of the tax money for us in the next month or two. So, and see what we can do, and just and look through this last year's budget, because, like I say, I know Jeff went through, and some stuff he was a little liberal with, and some stuff he cut it right to the bone, from what I could see, and we hope he was real liberal, and we got a lot of fluff left in there. I don't know if the money's there or not, but it'll come. But just want to kind of bring my feelings out and stuff of that concern and stuff. And of course, I think we have a good board, and we want to go on and make Bluff City, everybody proud of Bluff City. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Alderman Malone. Alderman Johnson.
Well, I thank everybody for coming out. I encourage you to bring more people, bring your neighbors, bring your friends. This is their town, and if we don't hear comments from them, sometimes we don't know. So if people that watch on YouTube, I encourage you to come down, speak your mind. Let us know what you're thinking. This is your town. It's not ours, it's yours. I'd like to give a little shout out to all the office personnel and public works. I don't think you guys get enough credit. You don't get enough praise. This town would not run at all without you. And I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you very much. I've spent a little bit of time in the last couple weeks in the office, and they work hard, and they don't stop, and they do it with a smile, and I just hope, as Alderman Johnson said, they do a good job. They do a fantastic job. We really have great employees. Our police department is stellar. Our works department, they work so hard, and our office staff. And no, there's not a lot of thanks. I hope people do thank you, but they work hard, very hard. So, thank you, Alderman.
We hardly get complaints up there too.
Say.
We hardly get complaints about anybody. I mean, we get compliments on the police. I mean, hardly. I don't know that I've ever gotten a complaint about an officer or public works or anybody. You know, me or anybody. Honestly, about water or a ticket ever since I've been here. I mean, really. I mean, you might come through and give me a hard time, but
Well, that's expected.
no, he's always nice.
And I'd like to add something too, and maybe I'm speaking a lot, but I've said it before when the court clerk wasn't here, but to add on what you're saying, our court is as smooth as it's ever been.
Yeah, it really is.
With the amount, and everybody involved, the amount of people we're dealing with come through here, it just flows perfect. So, good job on everybody who helps with that.
Public works guys are perfect. They do everything. Matter of fact, they run for me because they don't want to talk to me. They're busy working. No, I'm serious. They're good workers too. They pick up everything. They're good guys. They really are. Every one of them.
When I started here as a court clerk, they told me, Joe's gonna make you cry. He's gonna make me cry. And we get along great. He's a super guy.
And I've been here for a very long time, and not just saying this, but the employees we have now and what I see here in this city is working better today than I've ever seen it work together.
Yeah.
That means a lot. And it means a lot that you're not getting calls up front complaining. So people are generally happy here.
Yeah.
It's a great town.
They might get upset about the water bill, the amount, of course.
And they may want to get married in court.
Right?
We had a wedding today in court.
We had a wedding today in court. Jean Ann got rid of court today so we could have a wedding.
And she had a ticket.
And there is videos. So if anyone would like to see them, we would love to show them.
Yes. It truly started out as a nice lady came in. She'd been pulled over, Officer Pachuzik. But you made it all happen, sir. And, nobody's above the law.
My mama wanted Shane here.
Yes, this is true.
She wanted another wedding. We couldn't do it. Shane spoken for it.
As is Lieutenant Bass. But it was a precious wedding, and she, this lady knew she had to come in and pay her fine. She came into court, and she asked that somebody could marry her today because the gentleman that she's in love with has cancer everywhere. And it was precious. It was precious, but it gave us lots of laughs. It was Shane almost. Let's just say the bride's mother is okay.
They would have paid big money for this wedding somewhere else. They got it for $188.
I'm sorry. That was the fine. So. It was a great day. And they were thrilled. And when they left, they got in their little truck, and the groom got in the back of the truck. There was no room for the front. The bed. And they drove off into the sunset. And it was precious. So. But that's the love that we have here in Bluff City, and the great people, and it's just a precious community. And like Jerry said, when we're all working together, we are at our best. Yeah. And not to sweat the little stuff, we're going to sweat the big stuff, and we're going to get the big stuff taken care of. But the little stuff, It'll work out. It will work out. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight, and I'm glad that we can have a really good, productive meeting. And I'd love, let's have more people come out. This is great. So I'm gonna end. So let's move on to old business. Do we have any old business?
Did we have any minutes to?
We did not.
Okay, I
We
didn't
did not.
understand.
There will be some minutes at the next meeting. We didn't get them in time, and so that's my fault. That's on me. So my apologies.
I got a question. When are we getting our trash cans?
Okay, so
I didn't
I'm not
bring
going
it
to answer
I didn't
for
bring it up.
I'm not going to answer for the town manager, but when she was
Curious,
on.
I want my trash can.
When she was out, I was going to devise this amazing plan, and I was going to present it to her when she got back, and say, "Look, let's do it this way." And I was so busy that didn't even get done at all, and I feel bad because I was going to just surprise the heck out of you and say, "Look what I did," but I didn't. So, yeah. Vice Mayor Adams would like to know when he's going to get his trash can.
So we actually we're working on setting up a meeting with Cox, because like we talked about before, we have to get with them, and we have to make sure that the ordinance is right set up as far as the rules of trash and things like that in the city. So we are actively working on that. Hopefully we will have something in the coming weeks that shows that we're making progress towards that. So I think we're looking at next week.
Yes, so we have a meeting scheduled. It was tentatively on the 9th, but we're going to schedule it for the 10th or the 11th, and they're going to come out, meet with us, give us the guidelines, and they have actually offered to help us in the distribution, but they're also willing to work with us, and they've been so kind and so generous, and they're offering all of their support in getting this done because they know Vice Mayor Adams wants a can.
Well, you'll help them.
Yeah, exactly. So, good question. Thank you.
The only thing I'd like to say is, once again, I hope and I want complete transparency, because I don't want to be out in the street and hear something. So I hope that we can have complete transparency and honesty.
On that trash can note, I guess, that I was trying to think, I lost my thought there. But I know that Cox had said, and I don't know, I don't remember, we didn't talk to him, but somebody that was in the organization, and he said that their insurance company was really on them because, they have those two guys on the back of the truck that pick the cans up, and with back injuries, legs slipping, falling, rain, the whole deal. And so he said that when she's working on, we get the cans, they'll have the serial numbers on them, and the ones that they have to pick up actually by physically hands in Bluff City, then they'll have the serial numbers for them, and then like down the highway where they could use their other truck is they will, maybe the second day, I don't know how he'll do it, but the second day he'll schedule the truck that actually can pick them up and move it, and he said then they have to tell the insurance company how many people and how many cans, and if they have to, the serial number on them, that they are actually have to come through town and actually hand pick them up. So, and they were doing a rider, I guess, to do it, because he said basically the insurance company don't want to insure them for that reason, because they know they're going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt sooner or later, I guess.
Yeah, Bluff City's a bit of a problem for Cox because they do have to change their insurance policy. The insurance company does not want anyone getting out of the truck when it comes to trash pickup, and so that presents a greater problem for them in the sense that it increases their insurance premiums.
And they bought a separate truck just for Bluff City. I mean, it's a backload truck to pickup truck. So, and that's probably one good reason we don't need to do it ourselves, because we'd have to go through and pick them up, So anyway.
All right. Any other old business? Any new business?
I know that you don't have a vote, but I think that you should have complete access to City Hall. I think you should have access to an office, so when you meet with anybody, that you have access to an office, and I think you should be involved. I know that the town manager has all say over everyday stuff, but I think that you should, and I don't know if we need to change anything or do anything, but I think you need all access to everything that goes on in this town. Because if something happens, it comes right back on you. So I don't know if we need to do anything about that, but I do believe that you should have access to this building and to an office to meet with someone.
Mr. Fry, what guidance would you give for that?
Well, you do.
I do.
Yeah, you do have an office now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And about access, I don't know about access.
We got to get some keys made, but she is outfitted with an office, with a desk and everything. And
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I met with her today.
Okay,
All right. She can get your keys.
Yes.
I do hear you guys,
Don't tell
but
me, Jerry.
at the same time, we got to make sure that we keep that separate. If we're going to have a city manager, we'll have a city manager and a mayor. Let's don't go back and get twisted and tangle it back. But I do agree. I mean, I spoke with you in the office the other day, and it was very helpful. But just be very careful, and be very careful, because you don't want to go back. That's one thing you don't want to do. And also, we need to find out, and I have talked about this before, and it seems like I'm just hitting the wall. We need to go back to make sure that the mayor will never be able to act as city manager. I mean, if you don't want to have a city manager, then we'll just let the mayor do it. So let's keep those separated and don't get twisted.
Any other new business? Jerry?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you look like you're itching to say something. Second session of public comments. If anyone would like to speak, whatever you want to do. If you're going to speak, do it outside. Sorry, that was not funny. All right, since there isn't anyone, meeting adjourned.